Welcome, welcome. It's Tuesday, November 28th, and it's a special episode of On the Line. We have our third annual Running Lane Cross Country Championship selection show today. We always look forward to this every year.
So exciting.
We announced the Gold Championship Race contestants. So that's what's on tap for today. We'll reveal the top 20 teams in both the boys' fields and the girls' fields. From there, we'll dive into the race previews. We'll preview some of the best action and storylines to watch out for at Running Lane on Saturday in Huntsville. I'm Corey, by the way. This is Olivia. You probably know us if you're listening to this podcast. In a moment, we'll bring on Running Lane Meet Director Will Rodgers along with Sean Allen. But before we do, let's dive into a little primer about Running Lane.
Yes, I'm super excited for this. This is the fourth running of this special race, and I feel like year after year it just keeps getting better and better and better, and I know that's crazy to think about, and especially with the history that we've seen with Newberry Park in previous years, Jenna Hutchins breaking the national high school record on John Hunt's Park. But what's even more exciting, which I love, is this particular event grabs all these different athletes from all over the country, especially athletes from Colorado. You have Utah, Wyoming, Texas, New Mexico, Missouri. The list just keeps going on and on and on, which is super amazing. And the total field of Running Lane represents all the corners of the U.S. and they fly to Huntsville, Alabama. And if you guys know Ashley, she's already said multiple times she can live in Huntsville. It's a great city in Alabama. It's also called the Rocket City to some, and it's going to be a ridiculously fast course to compete on. So Corey, I'm just super excited for it.
Yeah, we get stoked every year going to Huntsville because it's just a good environment. And, you know, millennials, they might know this term, vibes.
Yes.
It's a pure vibe in Huntsville. That's what we get excited for. And even this year, and maybe Will can talk more of this, but Tracksmith is one of the major race sponsors this year, and they've gone all in on a special way. I'll leave it to him to tell us what they're going to do, but it is awesome, and I love it. I love that they're going all in for this. But let's get to Will. Let's bring him in real quick. Will Rodgers, co-meet director of Running Lane. How you doing, man?
Good. It's good to be here. Thanks, guys, for doing this.
Yes. I get excited for this show every year. We get to see you. You get to break down the top 10 teams. It's going to be exciting.
Well, I teased it a little bit. I didn't want to say it myself. I think that's up for you to declare. But what is Tracksmith doing here at Running Lane this year?
Yeah, so this year we're super excited to have Tracksmith as well as Garmin back and several other big sponsors. And they are providing the kits for a lot of the top teams and individuals. So we're super grateful for that. As well as, and I know that you alluded to it earlier, but we just announced that they have a new program this year, which is going to be really exciting. So part of their PR program at RXC, they're going to, any kid that runs a PR at RXC this year will be eligible to receive a $100 Tracksmith gift card, which is just awesome. So I know this is a fast course, and we're excited to run up the tab and get lots of cool Tracksmith swag for these kids.
Dude, that's awesome.
That's amazing. 100 buckos from Tracksmith. I mean, I think you can't beat that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
PRville, PR program.
And I must say, I'm also feeling the kids. Kids, I've seen them sporadically throughout the year. They're top notch, and I'm even on your Instagram page right now, and they look sleek, very fantastic. So kudos to you guys.
Yeah, we're pumped, and we're super thankful for their support and what the future holds. So,
before we get to the first announcements, just a little info for you. MileSplit's going to be live on site in Huntsville starting on Wednesday. We're going to set up on Thursday. We'll be there Thursday. Friday will be a pre-show, pre-event podcast that will go over the storylines again. And then on Saturday, you can catch us 7:30 a.m. live on MileSplit. We're going to have all the races there, and we just can't be more excited for it.
Yeah.
But let's start first. Will, maybe talk a little bit about the boys' field, you know, where it started, kind of where it built first, and I'll just give you the floor from here.
Yeah, so we've got over 45 states represented this year, and then also, as we usually do, several athletes from Canada. So we're really excited about that. So it's looking to be a really, really competitive field again this year. We do have a slight format change in 2023, where there will be 20 teams per division to increase the total number of individuals, faster individuals. So we expect the overall gold, silver, bronze divisions to be even faster this year based on that. And yeah, so we've got basically we're going to have to go through our top 20 teams for both the boys gold race and girls gold race, both of which will receive a special edition backpack. Everyone's receiving backpacks this year, as well as beanies, but the gold division will be a unique elite feature to it that I think the kids are going to love.
Yeah. Let's start with the boys team, starting with 20 going down to 11. Can you start with team 20?
Yeah. And 20th this year is Colts Neck out of New Jersey. They had a strong showing at their state championships and also finished second at the Group 3 championships in New Jersey. So they are the 20th team in. 19th coming in is going to be Fayetteville, Arkansas. They have a 1550 team average coming in and finished fourth in their state meet, followed by Bloomington North in Indiana, Springville, Utah, and with a team average of 1553 and 13th at the Bob Furman invite. Arapahoe in Colorado comes in at 16. 15 is Douglas County out of Colorado. And 14 is going to be Columbus North out of Indiana. They had really strong showings at their state meet as well as their NXR. And 13th is going to be Hamilton Southeastern, just down the road from them, followed by 12, Brownsburg in Indiana. And finishing out the top 11 through 20 is going to be Heritage out of Colorado, who had a strong fifth place showing at the Dave Sanders invite and is always one of the better teams out of Colorado.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I can take away from just even the list of names of the programs that are on just this specific list is they're all top competitors. Like they're finishing well at their state championships. They're performing very well at these big invitationals, which makes Running Lane even more exciting. Colts Neck is a program I'm looking forward to seeing. I know they had a top finish at their state championships, and I'm pretty sure they're looking to end this season on a very, very high note. Heritage, another program from Colorado, great showing at their state championships. But what I'm really curious about, I think it's going to be a rematch of the Indiana State Championships. You mentioned Brownsburg, Hamilton, Southeastern, Columbus North, Bloomington North. All of these programs competed at the state championships. Brownsburg finished third, and they put together, as you mentioned, a 1548 team average, and they had a 50-second spread to Corey and Will, which I think is super spectacular. That shows that they have the speed and they know how to run in that pack. Hamilton Southeastern, they were 5th. Columbus North was 6th. Bloomington North was 10th. So I'm pretty sure they're also going to Running Lane thinking, hey, I want to be the best team from Indiana competing at these championships. So that's super exciting to kind of watch unfold there.
Yeah, absolutely. They have one last race to get it done here in cross country. All right, let's move to teams 10 through 1 on the boys side, Will.
All right, coming in at 10th is going to be Cherry Creek out of Colorado. They don't need any introduction here. Obviously, super strong program. Coming in at 9th is Fossil Ridge, also Colorado. There's a little bit of a Colorado theme here, if you guys have noticed. Coming in at 8th is going to be Fort Collins, followed by Orem out of Utah, which had a fantastic NXR Southwest performance. And then Eagle Valley, which actually is coming in with the fastest team average, altitude converted team average of all the teams this year. They are our 6th ranked team. To round out the top 5, Farragut out of the Knoxville, Tennessee area. They are the Tennessee 3A state champions. Then followed by Brother Martin out of Louisiana, who had a fantastic showing at the NXR South, and also finished only 5 points behind Jesuit, New Orleans Jesuit in their state championship. And then the final 3, the last 3, drum roll. So we've got Deer Creek out of Oklahoma. They were here in 2021 when we saw that magic happen. They're coming back again this year. Sky Ridge, which has kind of become a regular. They have an excellent team this year, so we're excited to bring them back. They are the second ranked team coming in, and the number one team coming into this year's race is going to be Cheyenne Mountain, who won it in 2020. No, excuse me, they were second in 2021 to Newberry Park. They finished fourth at their state meet and behind some amazing nationally ranked teams. So we're excited to have those boys coming as well.
One of the most underrated teams of all time was Cheyenne Mountain in 2021, who didn't necessarily get the gab of basically that race. I mean, slotted behind Newberry Park, but they are a very good program. And what's interesting to me is 2 of the last 3 years, Utah team has won a team championship on the gold side. We have Sky Ridge at 2, as you said, Orem at 7. Will another Utah team take a title, or can somebody dethrone a Utah program? That's going to be the question here with Cheyenne Mountain of Colorado, or even Deer Creek. Deer Creek state title in Oklahoma, as you said, an amazing year this season, and they want one last race to sort of prove themselves on the national stage. So they'll get their opportunity here at RunningLane, and it's going to be a fun showing there on the boys' side. Now, as we transition over to the girls' fields, it's going to be, I think there's some power matchups here headed for the Golds Championship races. Teams from Colorado, New Jersey, Kansas, Tennessee, Indiana, Florida, Arkansas. It goes on. I think these teams are really going to match up and offer something really special. Let's start first with teams 20 through 11. Will, who do you have here?
Yep, coming in at 20th is Heritage Christian out of Colorado. They were one of the small school state champions there in Colorado. Coming at 19 is going to be Pringy out of New Jersey. They had a strong showing at the NXR Northeast division, or region rather. 18th is going to be Banning Lewis Prep, also out of Colorado. And then we've got out of Kansas, Shawnee Mission East. They were here last year, and we're super excited to have them back. 16th is going to be Columbus North. They're bringing down an army. Their coach has a great program there, and they've got lots of girls and boys coming, so we're excited to have them. Coming out of Tennessee, just up the road from us, and out of the Nashville area, Beach. They were third at their state championships. They're the 15th ranked team. 14th is going to be Fayetteville, Arkansas. 13th is going to be Humble, and I always ruin their last name, their school name. Thank you, Corey, for saving me. But they've got a super strong team led by senior Summer Call, and their team average is 1921. And then in 12th, Pensacola Christian, they had a strong showing last year. They're coming back. They are the 12th ranked team, and our 11th ranked team is going to be Holy Family, out of Colorado, and they placed third at their state championship.
One of the big teams I'm really looking forward to seeing is Pensacola Christian. Not only do they have a superstar, a 7th grader in Annabelle Tomasic, but they were a 1A champion. And just how will a 1A champion in Florida fare against a national field here? Can they compete? They're certainly right there in the mix here, seated at 12th, but I don't think averages really matter when you get to the line. It's really how you race on the day and put things together. So that's only sort of a start for teams like Pensacola, and they can ultimately determine where they go. So I think it's a really strong lineup so far. Let's go to teams 10 through 1.
Yep, the final 10. So coming in at 10th is going to be New England Elite. They are coming from the Massachusetts and led by junior Kate Clark. And they also have a team average of 1854. Number 9 is going to be Springville, Utah. Obviously, a very strong team out of Utah historically, and we're excited to have the Speedy Ladies coming down. Number 8 is also Orem out of Utah, followed by 7, which is Niwot, which comes in with the altitude adjusted team average of 1838, followed by Mountain View, also out of Colorado. And kind of rounding out the top 5, we've got Central Kitsap out of Washington. They were third at their NXR regional, and also their Washington State champs. Number 4 is going to be Brentwood, just up the road here in the Nashville area. They are a powerhouse program. and we're excited to have them back. 3A state champions out of Tennessee. And then Barrington out of Illinois. They are one of the best teams, I think, and one of the most underrated teams in the country. And we're excited to have their girls coming down to run here. And then Lucas Lovejoy out of the great state of Texas. They finished third at their NXR, and we're really pumped to have them coming in. And our number one team for 2023 is Fossil Ridge out of Colorado. These ladies are awesome. They finished fourth at RunningLane last year, and they have had an excellent season. So we're really excited to have them coming back as the number one seed.
Goodness, there's so much to unpack here. This girls' gold championship race is just completely stacked with so much talent. As you mentioned, Will, so many state champions, great team averages across the board. I'm looking forward to Barrington. I find it funny how they have their name as like the Dark Horse Distance Project. I'm like, y'all are like top contenders there. I don't consider them to be dark horses, but I feel like with Scout Storms, which you're a huge fan of, Corey, is going to be leading that pack as well, and third at their state championships. I'm excited to see what Lucas Lovejoy does here. They're a powerhouse program here in Texas. They won the 5A state championship title, and they're definitely a top 25 team in the nation, which I think is super spectacular to have that kind of talent at RunningLane. And then Fossil Ridge, I mentioned them earlier in the show, I think it was last week, and they were the runner-up to Air Academy, which is one of the top programs in the nation, and they are
the top program in the nation, aren't
yes, they are. It's funny, Ashley and I were talking about this yesterday, just, with NIWA and everything going on, it's just super spectacular to see these Colorado teams just doing incredible things, and Fossil Ridge, I feel like, is right there in that mix, too.
So when you have the top team in the nation and you're right there below them,
you
don't get all the pub, but this is your chance to shine. This is your chance to take that championship. So no better way to do that here at RunningLane.
It's going to be a great one. Will, do you have any final thoughts? I applaud you because, dang, to fill out all of these fields, I know it takes a lot of work, lots of research, so kudos to you for doing that. But do you have any final thoughts on just the fourth RunningLane taking place this weekend?
We're super excited. There's always tons of energy, massive crowds. It's the championship for everybody. So we're really excited to have MileSplit coming and doing all the live coverage. Again, big shout out to Garmin, some of our other sponsors, SportsMed, as well as, TrackSmith. Obviously, the PR program is really, really awesome. So each year we're just trying to make it bigger and better. And we're excited about the opportunity to give these kids one last chance to run fast for the 2023 season.
Will, we will see you pretty soon there. We're going to fly into Huntsville on Wednesday. Tell Sean we said what's up, and we will catch you soon enough, all right?
Sounds good. Take care.
Thanks, Will.
All right, take care. All right, great stuff. They're naming the entire fields for the Gold Championship races. Again, as I said, 7:30 start time for RunningLane Gold Championships, end of the day. Weather forecast. Always a little...
It's going to be great.
Just apprehensive a little bit about it. It did rain last year. There is a 50% chance it's going to rain again this year. But hey, cross country, you battle the conditions. That's what it's about.
That's what it's about, right?
Yeah.
And then it's going to be a little muddy.
Maybe not as much as last year.
Hopefully
but
not.
We're looking for fast times. For big performances. We want those PRs.
We do. Yeah. Got to get that,
Got to get those buckos.
Got to get the buckos.
All right, let's move to really the storylines that are created from these fields and these entrants. And you might ask yourself often, do I know that guy? Do I know that girl? When you're watching a movie, it's a that guy or a that girl.
Yeah.
Well, here at RunningLane, you might be asking yourself that a little bit because there's athletes like Ethan Gonzalez, Luke Sievers, Jaden Merrick, Mateo Tonis, Evelyn Pradal, Scout Storms, Annabelle Tomasic, state champions, amazing talents. But do you know them? Well, you have a chance to know them here on Saturday. They're going to have big statement-making races. What's the unpredictability factor here, Olivia, and why is it so exciting?
I think it's just so exciting because there's not one clear favorite, and I think that makes it even more just memorable at that. This field is completely deep with individuals who have finished, as Will attested to, just by even looking at the team race itself. You have a lot of teams that have won state championships, top 3 at their state championships, runner-ups. You get a mixture of everything, and it's the same thing individually as well, and there's not a clear favorite, and I feel like that's fair. It's going to be wild. It's going to be unpredictable. And we already know this is the fastest course in America. So everyone's just going to be going out, going for personal bests, grabbing their $100 from Tracksmith. It just makes it that much more exciting.
Yeah.
So I'm pumped for it.
I do like going into a race knowing reasonably, with beyond a reasonable doubt, who might be champion. All right, you know this person goes into it. He or she is the favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, they're part of that. But honest to God here, we do not know who's going to win either of these races. I think that's so fun. You rarely get an opportunity where you have a national field of state champions and sub 15 runners and sub 18 runners on the girls' side, and you don't know if they're going to win or not.
Yeah.
And I think that's special. That adds an allure to this race, and especially with the underclassmen too. You're seeing the next wave of great talents coming here.
Yeah.
It's going to add so much to this race. If we look back in the history books of Running Lane over the last 3 years, there's been some incredible racers that have gone on to just become stars. JoJo Jordan last year, Ty Stortz, Matthew Edwards, Benjamin Anderson this year, Peyton Godsey won last year, Zero Macchia ran last year, Sofia Rodriguez, our girl from Seattle now. 2 years ago, Jimmy Wushujian of Union Catholic, Byron Grievous, who's a star now in high school. We have Angela Hawker Smith from Kansas. She's a 4-time state champion. I mean, the names are there.
Yeah.
In previous sections, now it's about, all right, how do I make my statement here at this race?
Exactly, absolutely. And it also just kind of reminds me of the NCAA championships on the men's side. Like, there was not a clear favorite. You had athletes like Nico Young, Drew Bosley, Graham Blanks, Samuel from New Mexico. There were so many big names that you're like, oh my gosh, who's going to grab this title? And that's how I feel about Running Lane, specific for both genders, boys and girls. Like, there's not one specific clear favorite. And we've already seen a history patch. I keep going back to Jenna Hutchins. It just feels like yesterday just seeing her break the national high school record for the first time on this course. And everyone's like, this is the course you want to race on if you want your personal best and getting a true 5K in. And these athletes, we get to see the next crop of great, talented individuals. And we're about to see them go to that next level.
All right, so question. What does it take to win at John Hunt Park?
Goodness gracious. There are, after talking with a lot of the athletes over the years, they're like, it's sneakingly like challenging. It's not completely flat. Like, you do have some hills here and there. You also have some sharp turns as well. But I feel like it's going to be the person that gets out the quickest and is able to hold on to that, because the course is fast. And you already know everyone's going to be running personal best left and right. So I feel like you got to really challenge yourself and be in that front pack, be smart, and then just cross that finish line.
I agree you have to be smart. I don't think you have to be the fastest out of the
I feel like you got to be in that top wave, though. If everyone's going fast.
You do have to be measured, I think, in the first mile, and you have to give yourself a shot. You can't be in 100th place and expect to win.
Right.
Although you can go from 100 and you can finish in the top 10. I think, look at Brian Nicola last year. He ended up finishing, I think, 6th or 5th, and he was nowhere in the beginning. Not the greatest race plan, but he got it done there. But I think it takes heart, first and foremost. If you want to win the race, you have to have courage, and you have to sacrifice a little bit and race with a little bit of pain. And then you have to make moves when they matter. So on those sections where people are going to be struggling, which is at that hill into the second mile, when you surge up the hill, you'll definitely make some ground up. You know, the final 1K is all rolling downhill. Like, you have to wind up in that final section and make your move there to hit it. That's what Peyton Godsey did last year. Stephen West did that last year. Colin Salmon took it at the very end in 2021.
Yeah.
I mean, there are plenty of chances for you to make moves on this course. It's just a matter of, do you have the heart? Do you have the bravado to do it when it matters most, especially if it's raining, especially if it's hard out there and you're fighting pain.
Yeah. Is it supposed to rain on race day, or is it just the days leading into it?
50%.
50%, okay.
Friday and Saturday, a little bit of rain.
So maybe you'll just get some clouds.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be downpour, but there might be a little bit of rain that you have to fight through. So, you know, it's December racing. It's going to be a little tough.
Yeah.
It's going to be slightly cold, but I think that's what makes cross country so awesome.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
All right, we're going to go to 3 girls athletes that you think could win the Gold Championship race and why?
This was hard because, as I mentioned, there's so many heavy hitters going into this race, so many talented individuals. So to pick 3, I was like, all right, if I had a name and grab, this is what I'm going with. My first pick is Nikki Sutherland from Delta. She's going to be a Notre Dame athlete next year. I feel like you cannot overlook the veteran. You just can't. This girl has raced how many times, has competed against national level contenders year after year. You can't count her out. So this will be her first time competing at RunningLane, but as I mentioned, she does have that experience competing at that national level. She finished 5th at the Foot Locker Midwest Regional Championships this previous weekend, and then in the last 3 years, she's been the runner-up at the Indiana State Championships, and she goes in to this race with a 17:01 personal best. So she does have the speed. She has the experience. She's a veteran. Nikki Sutherland, I feel like, don't exclude her. The next athlete is an individual from Ohio. I feel like you're a huge fan of Evelyn Prodell. I believe that's how you pronounce her last name. She won the Ohio State Championships. And the crazy thing is, she's been undefeated this whole entire season. 10 straight wins, has a personal best of 16:59, which she set a month ago. And she also has that experience of competing at RunningLane. So that, I think, is to her advantage. She knows how to run this course. She finished 41st overall last year with an 18:42. So I know for a fact that she's looking to improve on that time. And of course, it was downpour, rain, muddy conditions. So the fact that you went that 18:42, you already know she's just going to kill this course this year. And so I feel like that's a huge advantage for her. Now, my third pick. This might be an interesting pick here, but I have all faith in this middle schooler, Annabella Tomasic from Lake Highland Prep from Florida, class of 2029. Now, you're probably thinking, Liv, why on earth are you talking about her? I feel like she has proven that she can run with the big girls. Here is why. She's won 11 straight wins. The worst place that she finished this year was 2nd, and that was her season opener. Ever since then, she's just been on this rolling streak. She's the middle school state champion, but she also won the Florida State Championships against the high school individuals just a couple weeks ago, and she has a personal best of 17:25. Like, you got to put Annabella in this mix now. I feel like maybe experience. This is a perfect opportunity for her to gain that experience, run on a really fast course, be against the heavy hitters. I have Annabella as someone in that's going to be in there.
I'm on board with all your picks.
Woo!
I like all of them.
Yeah.
I think they're all. I would think exactly the same.
Yeah.
In that they should be there in the pack, going for a title down the line.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to make a pick of those 3, like winner, who are you going with?
My gut is saying Nikki Sutherland.
Okay.
Again, the experience, senior year, this is it. Nikki Sutherland.
I like that. I'm picking Prodell.
Okay.
I think she is a little bit of
fair.
a sleeper, but she hasn't lost at all this year.
Yeah.
And I like people who win because you got that confidence.
Yes.
Only one small addition possibly that could kind of enter into the conversation, Scout Storms.
Yeah.
We talked about it earlier from Barrington. Number one runner for the Illinois program, ran 16:38 at the 3A championships, which was a 14-second PR at that distance. It's a fast course there at Detweiler Park, so she understands what it takes to run at the front and go for a championship. I think if I had to bet, I think Scout Storms will be in the mix down the stretch.
Mm-hmm. I have to agree with you. I can see her being in that front pack for sure. I'm not counting her out either.
Okay.
I like Miss Storms here.
Miss Storms.
Ooh, the last
Hey,
name
who
too,
were you for Halloween?
I was Storm.
Exactly.
So I gravitate toward that.
All right, on the boys' side, 3 boys athletes that we feel can be in the front in contention for a national championship. Our thoughts on who they are and why. I'll go with it here. Riku Tsuji from Bardstown, Kentucky, ran one of his best races of the season at Foot Locker South. Clocked a time of 14:54, which qualified him for nationals on December 9th in San Diego. Last year, he was 55th at this RunningLane, championship, which wasn't great for him. It was a little bit of a disappointment, but he learned a lot from that moment. And he said, it's not about going for time anymore. It's about going for effort. And being competitive, being a racer on race day. That's what he's all about now. So has he learned from his mistakes? And now he's in a position potentially to win here. Jaden Merrick of Cedar Falls, Iowa, just a sophomore. He was the runner-up in 3A in Iowa at the state championships, only behind Ethan Zuber. He ran 15:01 at Heartland, NXR Heartland. Didn't get to NXN, but he ran one of the best times there. He's top 10, and he's a future star. We wrote about him a lot over the season. Future star Jaden Merrick, remember the name. Let's see if he can win a title here. Third one here might be a little bit of a sleeper too. Ethan Gonzalez of North Richland Hills in Texas. He is the 5A state champion in Texas. He ran 14:55 in Austin this year. And he's got 2 sub-15-minute outings for 5K. And I don't think enough people are talking about him yet, but here's an opportunity for a guy from Texas to really make a name for himself.
There's one other individual I will kind of put in that mix of all the athletes you just mentioned is Mateo Tonas from Farragut from Tennessee. He's a Furman signee. He set a 14:43 personal best this year, second at the state championships, 16th at NXR Southeast, 21st at Foot Locker. And I say that because I'm like, he probably wants to really go out with a bang. And of course, you go to RunningLane if you want to end your cross-country season on a bang. Even though he hasn't competed specifically at the RunningLane cross-country championships, he's competed at the Southern Showcase before, which is held at the exact same location. So he'll have some of that experience. Now he'll be able to put everything together.
Yeah. Previous champions from Colorado, California, New Mexico. Are we going to get a runner from a different state this year? Potentially.
Potentially. Yes.
All right. Next thing we're going to talk about girls teams. Which girls teams will break away from the field, Olivia, and why?
The biggest team on the ladies' side that really stands out to me is Lucas Lovejoy. I feel like this is a solid team that you can really count on, and I feel like they can break up that Colorado streak. Mountain Vista won it 2022, Niwot the year before, and Mountain Vista back in 2020. So I think a Texas program could sneak in there a little bit, but they finished third at the NXR South Regional, right behind the powerhouse programs of Flower Mound and also South Lakes Carroll, which are top 10 ranked teams in the nation. They'll be competing at NXN. But I feel like Lucas Lovejoy, they have the 12th best team average in the country right now with a 17:55. And again, we talk about how quickly they can get their top scores, and they've done it before with 52 seconds. So they know how to run in a pack. They're very strong, very talented, and especially when you compete against teams like Flower Mound and South Lake Carroll on a daily basis, and they're top ranked teams in the nation, you just get better and stronger. So I feel like Lucas Lovejoy has an opportunity to kind of be the team title winners here.
You can't get much better than that front three of Amy Moorfield, Sarah Moorfield, and Kaylee Littlefield. I could very well see them all in the top 10.
I agree.
Maybe here, and hard to beat a team that has 3 runners in the top 10.
Very hard.
So who has a chance to maybe sneak up in there? Barrington, as we've mentioned. Brentwood's girls, and then Central Kitsap out of Washington.
I like that.
You know, third place finisher at the Northwest Regional in their Washington champ. Brentwood, to me, is the underrated one. I did a virtual meet on the girls field, and, you know, Lovejoy did win with 46 points, but Brentwood was right there in second. What it'll take from Brentwood and Barrington and all these teams, basically, to beat a team like Lovejoy, you have to make sure that your back-end depth runs its best race, runs measured, runs well, doesn't lose people from the pack and separates. Because once you separate in a huge field, that's points. That's determined. That's basically, those are points all on your back-end score. So they have to run well in their lineup to make sure they have a chance to beat a team like Lovejoy, which you know, they're going to have an off day for them to lose, I think, at this point, too.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the ladies would have to get sick or something.
Hey, and we're not even talking about Fossil Ridge, too.
Oh, Fossil Ridge!
Right?
Yes! So, I feel like that's another program that, like, you can't overlook them. And I know I mentioned them last week, or the week before. Yeah. There was some week I mentioned Fossil Ridge.
If they're really, you know, right there up against Air Academy, if they're the second best team, I think they are going to come here as a little bit of a sleeper, which is crazy to think because of the number 1 seed on the girls' side. But I would not be surprised if they did offer something kind of like momentous here at RunningLane.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I feel like Fossil Ridge has the talent. The program is ready to go. Yeah, you can't exclude them either.
All right, last topic here before we finish out things at Running Lane. Boys teams, gold race. Which teams are going to break away on the boys' side and why?
Yes. So originally, and I still feel like this could happen, I feel like Deer Creek is a really well-known program from Oklahoma, and I kind of like them here. They have the 21st best 5K team average in the country with a 15:32:48. I know there might be some banged up happening right now, but I feel like if everyone was to show out and put their best foot forward, it reminds me of NC State, right?
Yeah,
like you
I was thinking the same exact
thing. Just watching them compete at the NCAA championships, I think once we knew that Kelsey Camille was not running, there were a lot of big question marks on like what could NC State do, and what did they do? They won the team title over NAU by 1 point. So I'm not counting Deer Creek out completely, but I feel like just thinking when they were on it, right? Like over the season, they had some solid wins at the Chili Pepper Festival over Bentonville and Lucas Lovejoy. They're also the Oklahoma State champions. They won it with 42 points, 15:51 average with a 24-second split. They were moving, and then they were fourth at NXR South Regional. So I'm not excluding my Deer Creek team. Huge fan of them. My next pick, as Ashley would say, her 1B pick, I'm picking Cheyenne Mountain from Colorado. They were second to Niwot at the Colorado 4A State Championships this year. They finished just 11th at NXR Southwest, so they're probably looking to go out with another big bang. So those are my picks. Deer Creek and Cheyenne Mountain, I feel like could do some damage.
I think the top three teams here are very clearly those three, Cheyenne, Skyridge, and Deer Creek. And I love the analogy of NC State because it definitely fits here.
Yeah.
The best storyline would be Deer Creek winning this race because of what they've done this season, how they put their name out there in the national spotlight.
Right.
Going to Texas, picking up wins, health is always an issue for every cross-country team down the stretch because you've run so much, you've been competitive with teams, and you get banged up. So
and they've been training since some of these teams over the summer. So it's like they've been just going at it.
So for them to put together a winning effort, I think would be a huge story, and it's kind of the tailor-made story. So there's definitely hopes there. But if I'm looking at the likely odds of someone winning, when you just talked about two Utah teams winning it, you got to look at Skyridge because Skyridge is coming off a sixth place effort at the regional. They're among the best in Utah, and Skyridge has had time off to get healthier, as we just mentioned. Their state meet was in October. It's basically been a month for them to sort of recuperate and re-engineer their lineup and come in really ready to go because they're already building towards indoor. So I think they come in at a different position that helps them in ways, especially running at sea level too. So I think Skyridge might come in with a little bit of an advantage there. Cheyenne Mountain, this team to me next year or even in 2 years might be the best team in the country based off of the runners they have right now in their lineup. They have 4 coming back. They have 2 more coming in the wings. I think they could be really up there to challenge Niwot next year and be one of the best teams. 2 years ago, they got there. Nobody really saw Cheyenne Mountain, but they have the talent. They train at altitude in Colorado. They have great coaching there. And I just think they're in a position where they have all the resources around them to make them a great cross-country team. And so to run here to get a win, I think is maybe like the origin story of how you get to that point.
Yeah, I agree.
So
you said it here, November 28, 2023. Look out for Cheyenne Mountain.
So
2025.
Who are we picking? Girls team, boys team. Who are we picking?
I'm picking Lucas Lovejoy.
Okay.
On the girls' side. I feel like my Deer Creek from Oklahoma. That's my squad right there.
Right,
going Deer Creek.
Fair enough. I'm going with Barrington on the girls' side. I'm just, I feel it in the air.
You feel it?
Barrington.
That's how I feel about Lucas Lovejoy.
Barrington. Okay. And then I'm going with Cheyenne Mountain on the boys' side.
Good pick.
That's where it's at right now. Okay. So stay tuned for all this coverage from the Running Lane Cross Country Championships on MileSplit. We will be on site Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, setting up and getting ready, doing podcasts, getting all the things ready. So if you have any questions, insights, feel free to hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, all the social media aspects, and we will be there for you. Olivia, you're going to be out in Portland.
I'll be in Portland with Ashley. We'll be an 80% chance of rain
yes.
over there.
Rain,
so I already know
rain on
about
the
to get
forecast
downpoured
in the U.S.
Yes.
Basically, just expect rain.
Just expect it.
Looking forward to seeing all you out there and providing coverage and talking cross country. Final weeks of cross country.
I cannot believe it.
Get ready for the end of the fall. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.